the Drunk Sports Podcast.
You can buy me a drink.
We're all drunk.
Hello, and welcome, drunk dudes and dolls and drunk sports pod turds. Turds.
You know, you got it right the first time, and then troubled back and went and tried to. What was that?
I gotta start writing that down.
No, you don't. You just gotta say the right words when we walk into a segment.
I can't remember which one's the right one. Which one's offensive?
You had the right one at the beginning, and then you went back around and was like, you know what? I did that too well. I need to go back and actually screw that up.
So it's turds, not.
Yes.
The other one.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, Drunk Sports Pod turds.
You know
to the Drunk Sports Podcast.
On another hand, can we stop calling the fans of our show doo-doo? Can we figure out?
We used to call them. We used to call them something else.
Yeah, I know. But so you just removed a letter and put another one in. It's like instead of being totally offensive, we're just going to call you poop.
Well, have you met our listeners?
Yes.
That's kind of true.
And no, is it?
I don't know. The host, at least me.
Well, okay. All right, yeah, that's it. But as far as everybody else, I mean, you're just labeling them all.
So what should we call them?
I don't know, but maybe we should have a brainstorm meeting instead of trying to do that right here, right now. I'm just making a suggestion for later that, hey, we don't call the people that listen to our podcast crap.
Poop. Tolos.
Yeah, I think that's already taken.
Damn it, idiots. Thanks a lot, Ben.
Yeah.
We want to welcome everybody to Tailgaters in Plano with 65-cent wings, buckets of beer, all the alcohol you can fathom. And we are enjoying some. We're having a great time. We got a great crowd out here, as we are every Wednesday at Tailgaters in Plano. We appreciate everybody that's here, everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Instagram, on the MySpace, on Friendster. And on Tinder.
Did you just make up Friendster? Is that a thing?
Friendster was before MySpace.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is that
where have a Friendster?
Is that where old people would go to meet friends? It was kind of spinsters, but also friends. So it's Friendster.
I'll tell you what you couldn't meet on Friendster was real girls.
Oh, is it just a bunch of bots?
Apparently. No, they didn't have bots yet. They were just dudes.
Well, that's disappointing.
I mean, just like all the other dating apps and crap nowadays. Don't ever meet somebody on a dating app, Colby.
Why? Because they're all named Harold?
No, because you're married.
This is also true.
I don't know where you were going with that. We got a great
I guess I was
show.
going to go talk to Harold. I don't know where I was going with that.
Have you ever met a good-looking dude named Harold?
I've only met one person named Harold. I'm hoping there's not more people named Harold here before you just besmirch Harolds all over the world.
I challenge there to be a Harold here that's good-looking.
I talked to Harold Baines once.
He's not a good-looking man, though. Harold Ramis?
Huh?
Harold Ramis, also not a good-looking man.
I mean, he's enough to be on a movie.
What about Harold Connick Jr.?
I think it's Harry.
Oh.
So immediately if you're named if you're named Harold, but you're like, you know what? No, I look too good to be a Harold. You automatically change your name to Harry?
To Tim.
To Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some bad-looking Tims before.
I don't know any.
I do.
Tim Kazurinsky, I take it back, the old SNL guy. You probably don't know who that is, do you?
No, I have no idea.
I was an 80s SNL guy back when Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Gary Kroger were on the show. But I digress, because we are here to talk about some drunk sports, Colby.
Are we?
I guess.
All right, then.
You won't let me insult our listeners anymore. It's no fun.
Well, I mean, you were just taking them out by name at a time. You were just going through everybody, so.
I was trying.
Yeah.
I got the baby book of names here. I was just going to go through all of them.
All right. Well, sorry, Sam.
Sorry, Steve.
Didn't get to you, Butch.
Sorry, Lance. Oh.
What? Oh, yeah.
By the way, if you are a fan of the Lance Free Show, you're in for a treat once again, because Big Red is not with us. Sorry, Lance.
Did you fart? I mean,
probably need to inform everyone about what happened to Lance.
I mean, are you about to make up something on the fly because you haven't actually put something together that happened to Lance?
So Lance can't be with us tonight because he is suffering from something. He's not sure where he got it, and we're not ready to disclose the source or the symptoms. Just suffice it to say he's going to be not using chapstick for a while.
Somebody else's chapstick? So you just outed the source then. We're not going to tell you where it came from, kids, but he can't use this particular item anymore.
That's a good point. He has to melt his chapstick in a pan like butter and then apply it.
So
little garlic salt, maybe a little white wine.
I don't think
little sauce out of
you're
it.
going to turn chapstick into some kind of cream sauce.
Into a piccata sauce.
Into a piccata sauce.
Dude, I just invented chapstick piccata.
No, you didn't. Nobody's eating that.
Put it over some fettuccine. And your lips will never be chapped while you're eating dinner.
Who suffers from that?
Dry mouth while you're eating? I don't know. Is that not a thing?
Dry inside, but dry like outside of your mouth while you're eating. What are you eating? Crackers?
Chapstick.
Oh, I guess so.
Are we going to do Around the Sports now, or did you want to get into that other thing first?
No, I mean, Around the Sports it's right there on the first hour sheet.
Yeah, but we have other things beside what's on the sheet. But
I know.
We'll do Around the Sports.
And now it's time for Around the Sports on the Drunk Sports Podcast. Brought to you by your mom.
We really need somebody to go ahead and sponsor that.
Well, your mom? You don't like your mom sponsoring it?
See, she's tired of paying.
She even gets a discount.
Right. She gets the discounted version of Around the Sports. Basically, I just call her and be like, all right, hey, so it's Phillip Rivers talk, and then we're going to talk a little Luka Doncic.
Yep.
So,
and what about the other stuff I have on the list?
I never read the bottom part because I don't ever think we ever get to it.
Well, you're going to want to get to this bottom part because she's got a good bottom part. That's all I'm saying. So, yes, Phillip Rivers, Colby, the much maligned former San Diego / 1 year in Los Angeles Charger guy. The Tony Romo of the West.
Okay, Tony Romo West.
Well, I have production value for this.
Because you just randomly pushed a button. Did you do that on accident?
It
or
worked.
Okay, all right then.
And it's football, too. Love when a plan comes together.
And we're lucky.
So he says he's not completely ruled out coming back to the NFL.
Because he has 18 children. Everybody in that situation is going to be like, you know what I'd rather be doing right now? Being tackled by grown-ass men.
For $12 million a year?
Right.
Or 30, whatever. What would he make if he came out of retirement right now? He'd make 20, right?
Right now, I mean, there's a lot of options out there as backup quarterback. Somebody would snag him up for around 17.
Well, I think this came out when Carson Wentz got hurt.
Right.
And then the Colts didn't know what they were going to do. And so, hey, why not, Phillip Rivers, as Bus likes to call him. But
Phillip Rivers is going to be still better than whatever a lot of these teams are rolling out there.
Let's see, what teams could use it? Well, how about, Houston.
Houston could.
For one.
Well, it depends on what they get back in the trade, because if that's still, of course, by the way.
They're not going to trade him.
Well, right now they're not going to, because I guess the rest of the things that they were scared about coming out is the reason why they started initiating trade talks again, because there's no reason why as the Houston Texans would be 1 week be like, you know what, we're not trading Deshaun. Watson's not going anywhere.
Right.
He's staying right here. And like 2 days later, they're like, so anybody want to trade?
Yeah.
They know something that everybody else didn't know. That's the only reason. And then after that, they're like, oh, it didn't come out? Oh, cool. No, he showed up at training camp. Everything's fine. This smells like the Des security tape is what it smells like.
God.
It smells like there was supposedly a Des security tape of him doing something wrong, and by the way, it was going to be blown out of proportion.
Man, I forgot all about that.
Because it was Des. It's the same thing with Zeke. Whatever Zeke does, and if it's halfway wrong, it's going to be blown out of proportion. It was the same thing with Dez. But with Deshaun Watson, it's like, oh, there was about to be what? I don't know. You can just guess because nobody really knows except for whoever was going to release whatever. And then next thing you know, oh, nope, he showed up. Everything's fine.
So, by the way, the Houston Texans released their depth chart. It's not an NFL official depth chart, but it's put out by each team's public relations for camp, for the media.
Right.
Deshaun Watson, number 4 quarterback on the team. Where else are you going to put him? Yeah.
Well, you're not going to, you're going to let all the folks that showed up for camp kind of be number 1 right now.
Right. All the ones that care.
They'll fix that at some point. They will have to, or they'll trade him. Yeah, it's just whichever happens. As far as teams that could use Phillip Rivers, I'm actually thinking the Raiders might jump on that.
Oh, why?
Because
you don't like Derek Carr?
No, it's not what I don't like. It's the fact that Chucky doesn't like Derek Carr.
You don't think he does? You don't think it's come around?
No, I don't think so. I don't think for the guy that runs around. By the way, I've heard this a bunch. He runs around the little Coliseum they got in Las Vegas and just walks around that whole thing just yelling at random people because he's mad.
That's a great bit.
Is that a bit, or is that just he's not on TV, so he just feels like, well, now's my opportunity to be a jackass.
Yeah,
100% of the time.
I still think that would be a great bit, though, if it was a bit.
Yeah, well, if it was a bit, I just think he thinks he's so old school that's just how it runs.
So we'll see what happens with Phillip Rivers. I'm sure a return is not imminent. He's probably got to help his wife take care of the 38 children that apparently they have bred together.
Right.
Something else that came out today, Colby? NFL preseason power rankings for this week.
It's because they're going to be all accurate. This is going to be the most accurate power rankings of all because they know exactly how everything's going to go.
Well, I mean, all power rankings are inherently defective, right? Even in the middle of the season. They're never. But the reason I bring this up, and not because it's preseason and we have power rankings.
Are you sure?
Not because I was fishing for content.
Uh-huh.
Dude, this is messed up, all right? Just the order, okay? And I got all 32 here in order that they put them.
You're not about to go through all 32, are you?
Number 32. No, I'm just
Damn
kidding.
it.
I'm just kidding. So, of course, you got your Bucks, your Chiefs, your Bills, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
I'm not sure about number 4 because you have the Packers.
Okay, well.
Apparently the Packers are spelled Packers now.
Well, maybe.
Or I might have mistyped it.
You might have mistyped it. They're also about to get at one Michael Thomas over there in Packerland.
That's the rumor.
Because he's already. I ain't no saint.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
So.
Probably just wants a quarterback to throw him the ball.
Well, I mean, you've seen Jameis is either going to throw you the football or the other guy the football, but it's probably not going to hit the ground.
Well, it's probably going to go to the other team.
No, he was about 50%.
He was, right?
Yeah.
30 and 30?
Yeah. It's a touchdown or an interception.
Such a great season for him. But I have an issue at number 5, and actually at number 6, as you have the Ravens and the Rams.
Okay.
For sure.
I need to, move away from the squealy parts of this board or something.
Not a believer. I already fixed it.
All right.
Not a believer in the Rams, although I do feel they will contend for Super Bowl sometime in the next 3 years. I just don't think it's this year.
As far as the Rams are concerned, yes. Right now, all you're looking at is paper.
Yeah.
So they got a better quarterback. Check. Their defense is still really good. Check. Offensive line's not that bad. Check. Okay, yeah, no, the Rams are going to be really good.
Rams are better than the Ravens, who are at number 5, one spot ahead of them.
Good defense, good quarterback, good running back, good offensive line.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I still need to see more out of Lamar Jackson.
Okay, well, they're going to look really right until the playoffs get around because they will be mashing everybody.
They'll be a great regular season team.
Right, and once Lamar figures out postseason and doesn't end up with the throw up diarrheas before once it becomes normal for him, it'll be fine.
Then 8, the Browns, 9, the 49ers, 10, the Steelers. I have a complete issue with all the bottom 4 or 5 of those. It's just ridiculous.
I don't have a problem with the Browns. They seem to have gotten better. The Steelers, they got a running back.
49ers at number 9, though?
Well,
that's pretty high for them.
That is for somebody that lacks a whole quarterback.
So anyway, they're just, going through. You got your Cowboys at number
14.
20.
20?
Number 20 are your Cowboys, Colby.
So they have 19 other teams that they believe are power ranked higher than the Dallas Cowboys.
Including the Bears, Cardinals, Vikings, Colts, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Chargers, Titans.
That is amazing.
All ahead of the Cowboys.
That is awesome because we know here in Dallas Cowboy land what happens when everybody picks the Dallas Cowboys to win. The whole damn thing falls apart. But they're always the surprise Dallas Cowboys. I can't tell you why nobody's expecting them to do something this year. You've got a wide receiver core that looks like you put it together yourself in some kind of video game scenario.
Right.
You've got a quarterback coming back, which, by the way, if Dak Prescott isn't comeback player of the year this year, I don't know who it could be. Maybe Tim Tebow is the only other person that could possibly take Dak Prescott's award from him already.
Tim Tebow's just coming back from being not a football player. Dak Prescott's coming back from a freaking injury.
Tim Tebow is coming back from basically sports dead.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dak Prescott's ankle died.
Right. Well, all of Tim Tebow's sports career nearly died. Okay? And somehow he made it back.
There's no way he makes the regular season roster, is there? Is there, Tim Tebow?
Who's the coach again?
I know.
I mean, he's the
Cheater
guy.
McGee.
He's the guy that loves his guys, right? He loves his guys so much he dug one out of the ground from a baseball league and brought him in to play tight end out of position.
I hate both those guys. Not
Well,
gonna lie.
That's actually going to be probably a damn good team.
Really?
Not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year, but
Yeah.
yes, it will be a damn good team. You'll have to watch out for the Jaguars.
So other NFC East teams, Washington football team, not the Redskins, are 22 behind the Cowboys. The Giants are at 23.
That's really high for the Giants.
The Eagles at 26, Colby.
The Giants are higher than the Eagles, huh?
Yeah. Well, I know. I believe that, but I think the Giants and the Eagles should both be like 29 and 30. And the Bengals at 30 surprised me.
Well, the main reason is because Burrow out in Bengal land hasn't thrown it to an actual Cincinnati Bengal in training camp. All he's thrown it is he's thrown it to some Bengals, the defenders.
Yeah, the defender Bengals.
So, yeah.
And then, of course, the Lions 31, the Texans round out the 32 at number 32.
The Lions are going to be a fun, total F mess to watch.
Dan Campbell's a shit show by himself, man.
Dan Campbell is amazing, sir. Dan Campbell will be an amazing coach.
Well, he was a good Aggie.
Is it also a damn good tight end?
He was when he played for the Cowboys before his career died. In Detroit, right?
Yeah, he died in Detroit.
Like many people's career. I have a feeling his coaching career is going to die in Detroit.
If anybody could bring that mess out of the ground, it is one Dan Campbell, sir.
Man, I hope you're right.
I mean, I don't.
I want to go see them bite some kneecaps.
That's the first big scrum that happens, the big pile up in the middle.
Right.
I hope to see somebody walk out of that dog pile with somebody's shin just hanging out of their mouth. Yep, I did what Coach said. I bit some shins.
That would be awesome. Biting all the shins. So, Colby, moving on from the NFL, let's get into a little NBA/Mavericks. Parentheses, Luka Doncic, close parentheses.
There's people out there that actually got a little upset with this. I've seen a couple of people tweeting out and Facebooking, and it's like, he's still going to end up not being here. And I mean, sad sack. Dude, he's here for like 5 years.
He's here till at least through 2026.
And they gave him all the money. And why would you give him all the money? I don't know. Because you finally drafted a player like Dirk, but you drafted a player that's top 5 in the NBA as far as players are concerned. So yeah, you pay that guy money. That's just what happens.
So let's break down the 5 years, $207 million briefly, if you will.
Okay.
As 207 of the $207 million are fully guaranteed.
Right.
It is the third biggest contract in NBA history behind Giannis's 5-year, $228 million deal and Stephanie Curry's 4-year, $215 million deal.
His name's not Stephanie.
Why do they call him Steph then?
Huh?
Why do they call him Steph?
It's short for Steven.
Then he should be called Steve.
Well, no, he shouldn't.
It doesn't make sense, Colby.
Why?
The world is going to hell.
No, it's not. Just because somebody chose to have a different name.
You can't make up a nickname for a name. There's already a short version of Stephen, and it's Steve.
No, yes, you can, because Will ended up being Bob and everything else. It's like, William, well, what's your other name? Bill? Oh, hey, and you're also Bob. He's my sister's husband. What would that make me? His uncle? What is that?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. There it is. I couldn't find the family tree. So his name on his birth certificate is Jimmy. he goes by James, but everybody in the family calls him Jack.
All right.
So yeah, there's like three. I mean, first of all, nobody calls him Jim. His name's Jimmy.
So let's call him Jimmy.
No, he call him Jack. But he goes
Jack
by,
is short for John. Which, by the way, doesn't make sense either.
That makes no sense whatsoever. So yeah, so your whole name thing, I'd just throw that completely out the window.
I had another name thing. I can't remember what it was. So anyway, $205 million, $207 million. By the way, more than the career earnings of the following NBA players.
Oh, this should be good.
Allen Iverson played over 14 years, made $154 million. Tracy McGrady, 16 years, $162 million. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady's cousin, 22 years in the league, he made $171 million. Ray Allen, 18 years in the league, $182 million. Dwayne Wade, 20 years, $195 million. And also more than his head coach made in his 19-year career at $182 million, Jason the Kidd.
I don't think the Kid is Jason Kidd's.
Are you sure his middle? God, how great would it be if his middle name was The?
The?
Jason the Kidd.
Right.
God, that would have been awesome.
That would have been. That also meant that his parents, when he was born, was doing a bit.
All parents, I did bits with all my kids' names. They all have two middle names.
Is that the bit?
That's a bit.
That's a running bit?
Yeah.
I mean, I named my kids after fire, so.
You did. Blaze.
And Cole.
Cole.
Yep.
You spelled Cole a really cool way, though.
Yeah, C-O-A-L.
Like it should be. I agree with that spelling, my friend. So, yes, all of those guys, we hope Luka's better than. And I kind of think he's probably better than all those guys, right? Like right now?
Like right now?
Yeah, like right now.
He's pretty close. I mean, there was a run where nobody could stop a bunch of those guys. So, but if he keeps it up, yeah, he's better than them.
So, to wrap up, Around the Sports.
Brought to you by your mom.
I wanted to get to some real audio here, Colby. I don't know if you heard this today on the Twitter world.
I did not.
On Undisputed.
Oh, dear.
With Skip Bayless.
Uh-huh.
Shannon Sharp, I want to call him Sterling. Shannon Sharp. And, of course, it is moderated by the great Jenny Taft, who's kind of a badass in the sports world.
Right.
She didn't take no crap from Skip today.
Good.
As Skip tore into the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy, saying that because of his size, he was unable to be a leader on the team and to garner respect from the team because of his size, because he's overweight.
Oh, right. So somebody should go holler at the Kansas City Chiefs then, by the way.
So Jenny Taft took exception to this, and I really hope this is loud enough for everybody to hear.
His motivational speech was the most inspiring, but criticizing his appearance, I don't know if I think that is a fair shot for Mike McCarthy. I'm going to leave it at that. Christopher Sard.
Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate that.
I don't think it is a fair shot.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is everyone who's a good coach as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want, I said it was a personal preference, and I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
That have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion. Skip, I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show, as you do too. Mr. Sard will join us and he ran to Westbrook's comment, and maybe I have more to say.
Yes.
Dude, she didn't take no lip from Skip.
Well, so Skip basically said because Mike McCarthy is an overweight individual, that he can't respect him as a coach if he was a player. And
isn't that typical Skip Bayless, though?
I mean, is it typical? I mean, yes, stupid words fall out of that man's mouth. Yes, that is pretty typical. It's also something that automatically sparks people to go, oh, well, you're an idiot. But for some reason, when he says idiotic things, everybody goes ahead and pays attention.
Dude, he was getting lit up on social media today about that.
Well, yeah, but you know what, everybody? I believe Skip Bayless believes in the Jerry Jones theory as long as you're talking about me.
Yep.
As long as you're talking about me, the next time that I am on the TV, somebody else will tune that thing in, and he doesn't care. And it used to be a thing in radio where you either were really loved by your listenership, or you were totally hated by your listenership. But if they were indifferent, you were fired.
Didn't we call that the Arnie Spanier syndrome?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you either needed to be loved by them or hated by them. But if they were indifferent towards you, then they probably weren't going to stick around. Skip takes that running bit of being almost as evil as if you were to say, hey, life, who are the villains of life? Who are the people that we automatically think that guy, if we were doing some kind of Marvel Cinematic Universe, Skip Bayless would be one of the major villains.
Yeah, big time.
And then, like, your villains that you could also kind of get along with because they're probably pretty cool to be with is like Stephen A. Smith. You know he's a villain, but you also know that he probably has a pretty good time doing whatever he's doing. Yep. And you can totally tell when he's doing that Cowboys thing where he's
or Barkley. I feel like Barkley used to play the villain.
Yeah. So, but Skip Bayless would be like, he's like your Lex Luthor. He's your guy that nobody wants to be the friends with villain that's probably trying to take over the world.
No, I agree 100%. But that just flabbergasted me.
That's what he does. That's what he tries to do.
Shocked.
Shock jock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shock jock, sports talk to the ultimate level. That's Skip Bayless.
The Drunk Sports Podcast.